Hello, and welcome to the fourth episode of Devlog. In this series, we're building an ambitious payroll SaaS from scratch all the way to our first customer. In this episode, we're going to finish up some setup tickets and get started on the dashboard. Let's start off by creating basic models for the organization and user tables. The organization table represents the businesses that will be purchasing our software. Each organization will of course have an ID and a name. Each user will be assigned an organization when they're created, and we can represent this by adding an organization ID foreign key on the user model. This relation needs to be explicitly stated like so, where the organization ID points to the ID of the organization model. Each relation also needs an opposite relation, so we can say that each organization has many user relations. We'll make these fields optional for now and make them required once our test user has the necessary data. Let's go ahead and create a new organization with ID of 1 and name Ralph Lauren. We can then set our test user's organization as the one we just created. To ensure that this has worked, we can use Prisma to find our user model, including the organization relation, and display the organization name on the page. How exciting! Our first model relation. Incredible. Alright, next we can improve the user model by adding a salary relationship. A salary has an ID, a user ID, an amount, an effective date, a created at date. And as we want to keep track of salary histories, we can define this relation to be a one-to-many relationship. Let's run the migrations, push our changes to remote, and we're done. 2 tickets, 1 stone, or like something like that. Yeah. Alright, next up we can determine if a user has access to the admin settings page. To do this, we can modify the user model to have a role of either user or admin. And while we're here, let's make some tweaks to the user model. Alright, after running migrations, we can add a callback for the session object in our route file. This will allow us to pass in the user's role so we can access it directly from the session data. We just need to do a quick Prisma search for the user and append their role to the session object. An issue we run into is that the role property is not defined for the session object. To get around this, we can create a custom type for the session and pass it in. We'll also pass through all of the existing user properties. From there, we can determine if the user's role is admin and display the admin navigation icon if it is. We can see that the gear icon goes away, and if we switch to the user role, it comes back. Fantastic. However, an issue with this approach is that although the icon is not visible, the user can still manually navigate to /admin. To patch this for now, we can check for this case in the nav menu component and redirect the user to a 404 page. Now, although this works, we'll want to revisit this in the future and find a more elegant way of handling permissions. The next ticket is setting up a Gmail domain for our website. This is not a priority, so we can go ahead and move it to the backlog for now. The next ticket after that is styling for the navigation icons on hover and focus. But again, we can tackle this in the future as well. Alright, now that we're out of setup tickets, let's go ahead and move all of the dashboard tickets to our board. The dashboard is officially started. First order of business, let's make the greeting message fit the user's local time.
Hello there.
To do this, we can simply use the date function to grab the current hour, which is represented from 0 to 24. Depending on the time, we can set the greeting to be good morning, good afternoon, or good evening. I recorded this at midnight, so we get good evening, Farzan. Incredible. I also added a fun message for between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. as a little Easter egg for the users. Next up, our customers will want to upload their own logos and have it display for their employees. As they may want to change the image, we can't just store their logos on our codebase. Instead, we can use an asset management service like Cloudinary to upload and retrieve images on our app using their APIs. I quickly set up an account and manually uploaded the Spotify logo to see if it would actually display on our app. Surprisingly to me, there was an error saying that the provider was not configured. Turns out we have to add Cloudinary to the Next.js config file to allow their links. Hit a refresh and boom, the Spotify logo pops up. Very cool. Now we can add an image property to our organization model, run the migration, and set the image link to be the logo I uploaded manually to Cloudinary. To get access to this image link, we'll simply attach the organization object to the session like we did before with the user's role. With that set up, we can simply set the image source to be the organization image. And voila, the logo displays as expected, and the source is indeed a Cloudinary link. Voila, who says that? What am I, French?
Look around you. Look at this. We created this. This didn't exist before we were here. Look around.
While we're here, let's also update the alt message to be the organization's name. That's it for this episode. We got quite a bit done. We created a few database models, set up user roles to determine page permissions, beefed up the session data we have access to, implemented time-based greetings, and set up file storage to display company logos. In the next episode, we'll continue on with the dashboard tickets. In the meantime, I'll try to set up some more tests for everything we have created so far. Thank you for watching. If you're new to the series, make sure to subscribe to follow the progress of the project and see where it goes. Let's get some ad-libs going. Nice. Hell yeah. Perfect. Dude, that's what I'm talking about, dude. What?